What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Van Dillen for Fox Weather, and we've got the Fox Weather ROWI for Sports podcast going on right now. Some major baseball games. We got the British Open, and we've got IndyCar racing up in Toronto, Canada. So you're all definitely going to want to know what the weather's going to be like, mainly for the baseball games. And I'll tell you what, we've got that British Open starting off on Thursday. It's going to be one of the typical Northern Ireland forecasts for you. I'll show you that in a second. Let's start off right now with the Boston Red Sox against Chicago Cubs, coming off the first series again right after the All-Star break. The All-Star game was just on Tuesday. By the way, Boston Red Sox are ranked third in the AL East, but they've been smoking it for the last 10 games in a row, right? So these guys are actually on fire. But they're running into a buzzsaw. They're going to play Chicago Cubs up there in North Chicago. Chicago, the Cubbies, they're first in the NL Central, so that's going to be a fun one to watch. And my boy right there, PCA, P. Crow Armstrong, plays in the All-Star game, smacks a double right off the bat. I mean, that guy was on fire during the All-Star game. So the Cubbies are favored right here. They got one of the MLB's top offenses. They average 5.3 runs per game. That's pretty good. I mean, that's some firepower right there, right at the plate. Boston, though, like I said, they're red hot. But what about the temperatures and what about the weather? Weather looks decent on your Friday, but then coming in on Saturday, we're in zonal flow in the atmosphere, which means anything that pops up in the west is going to zip right through the Midwest into the Northeast pretty quickly. So there are going to be some storms shooting up around the Rocky Mountains on Friday, but by Saturday, that whole complex rolls into areas by Chicagoland, and that could spell trouble for you for your Saturday afternoon contest. So high ROWI for you in Chicago. That's out there 6, 7, and 8 o'clock. Rain showers and some thunderstorms. This is the one game out of the series which most likely is going to be affected. That'll be the Saturday game for the Cubs against the Red Sox. So let's hope that the rain steers clear Chicagoland. But at this point, it does look like you guys are going to get smacked with a couple of pockets of heavier rain for Saturday. So high ROWI. It doesn't happen very often. The ROWI high, that's not great. All right, what about St. Louis Cardinals against the Arizona Diamondbacks? That's a Saturday Fox game. You can catch it there on Fox. And you're talking about a good one out here as well, but it's going to be hot. St. Louis right now, they're third in the NL Central. The Diamondbacks are fourth in the NL West. Now, this one has maybe some connotations who's going to get into the NL wildcard, right? So they're fighting each other for that one for sure. But the Cardinals thrive in that tight, low-scoring game with their big contact-driven hitters and their defensive reliability. So you're looking at small ball out here for the Cards. However, they're running into some heat. And so we've got the ROWI out there. It is 0 to low at this point. But, man, temperatures smoking hot in the desert out time. After all, it is summertime in Phoenix area. You're looking at the 105, 106, 105 in that neck of the woods, 4 p.m. all the way through 6 p.m. So it's going to be a hot one for you. ROWI, though, it does look like it's going to be 0. If the Cardinals don't like the heat, it could be low for them personally, though. So we'll see what happens with that. Braves taking on the New York Yankees. Yankees going down to the south, right? And this is right after that All-Star game. I tell you what, Truist Park, I live in Atlanta, a beautiful stadium, and it showed off nicely, right? I mean, the temperatures were beautiful. The All-Star game went off without a hitch. The guys that were mic'd up, the pitchers, the catchers, I mean, that was just a great touch. And then the swing off at the end, great job. MLB did a good thing with that one, I feel. But the Yankees right now, they're second in the AL East. The Atlanta Braves, they're 42 and 53. This has hurt me right there. They're ranked fourth in the NL East, and this is interesting. The Braves could uphold one of the most bizarre traditions in baseball. The Braves are 42 and 53. That's for the 2025 season. They could be the 12th club in the last 13 seasons to host the Midsummer Classic and then not make the playoffs. So they host the All-Star game, and then they're not going to make the playoffs. That's been happening a lot lately. You're talking about 12 out of the last 13 seasons. Pretty big time. All right, what about this? We got Max Fried for sure is going to be a pitcher for the Yankees. This is a guy that made the All-Star team but didn't go because he had blisters on his fingers. So what has he been doing? He's been dunking his fingers into pickle brine to get rid of the blisters. Sounds disgusting, but it's probably going to work. What about the forecast for you? I live in Atlanta, northern suburbs, and I'll tell you this. Anytime you're talking about, mid-July, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, it's going to be muggy. The ROWI looks like it's going to be low. It's not 0 because it is going to be muggy and uncomfortable. Temperatures falling through the mid to upper 80s throughout the game. So low, low, and low for that ROWI forecast. Risk of weather impact looks like just because of the humidity, it is non-zero. So it is a low one out there. So that's the Yankees against the Braves. All right, let's get back to it. Let's look at the next game coming up on the board, and that's San Diego Padres against the Nationals. This one has weather implications as well, especially later on during the weekend. But if you're traveling out there to go to the Nats game, it looks like it's going to be all right, at least initially. Those temperatures are going to be in the mid to low 80s for you for Friday for that first pitch. Looks pretty good. Cloudy skies are coming on in. But with the rain coming through for you on Saturday, to me, at this point, Padres and Nationals, that's a 6:45 game. That's on Saturday afternoon. If you're going to head out there towards the park, you got a high chance of rain coming in. So you've got a high ROWI out there for your Saturday. But Friday, 80s, looking pretty good. Low ROWI for you guys. Detroit Tigers at the Texas Rangers. Detroit, surprise baseball team. I mean, this club is doing very well right now. They're 59-38. They're the first in the AL Central right now. They're going to go head-to-head with the Texas Rangers, who are 48-49. So you're talking almost a 500 ball club right there. Rangers are third in the AL West, and that's going to be at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So number one ranked Detroit Tigers bringing the heat with an elite rotation. And they're featuring all-stars Tariq Skubal and Paul Skeens. Did you see Skeens? He started the AL game right there, the first pitcher for him. Mic'd up. He's hilarious. Yeah, he got a couple of runs scored on him, but still, what a fun guy to watch right there. So he's going to be pitching also. Temperatures look pretty good out here. They're going to be on the warm side for sure. I'll show you the Friday game, and temperatures will be starting out in the upper 90s. It's drier air, so the temperatures actually are not going to even feel that hot. It'll feel like 90 to 91, but because of the heat, it's a non-zero ROWI. It is a low. Remember, it goes 0, low, medium, and high. This one's going to be low because of the warmer temperatures, but it should be dropping throughout the game time. So temperatures starting out in the upper 90s, falling out into the low 90s, and basically the upper 80s by the end of the game for that one. So no troubles right there. Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers headed out to the LA Dodgers. Milwaukee just swept these guys earlier this month. The Dodgers are supposed to be the best team in the league. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but they're going to have their work cut out for them right here. The Dodgers are hoping to regain some footing once again. It's going to be in the home turf this time as their elite rotation anchored by Clayton Kershaw is going to start it off. And Kershaw was hilarious also during the All-Star game, mic'd up. He's asking which pitch he should do. I think they told him throw a high cutter. He goes, I don't have that, right in the middle of his windup. That was awesome. Anyway, he's 4-0 right now, Kershaw. He's looking pretty good. And those temperatures are going to be falling down right through the 70s into the 60s. So LA, yeah, your temperatures are going to be nice, and it's going to be low, ROWI, because you got some cloud cover out there. But maybe a little bit on the juicy side, too, a little bit of warm air. But your temperature is going to be dropping back down into 68 to 66, so mid-60s. Temperatures cooling down by the end of that one. It looks pretty good. All right, let's hop over the Atlantic Ocean to Northern Ireland. We've got the British Open going on, or what they call the Open. So this is going to be fun to watch, right? The 2025 British Open is being held at Royal Portrush on the famous Dunluce Links in Northern Ireland. That's right there on the shores of the North Atlantic. If you go on the Google Street View and you take a look, you'll see where my ball would always end up. It's right there by the beach, by the water. I mean, it is going to be fun to watch this one. The course is known for its rolling fairways, its deep bunkers. It's when you go into the bunker and all you see is the club going up and down. That's how deep these bunkers are right there. And they've got the coastal winds because you're right there on the shores of the North Atlantic, which is cold up there. Especially you're talking about later on during the week. You're watching the temperatures rolling down into the 60s. It looks pretty rough. Who's going to win this thing? This is going to be an interesting one because they're going to have to deal with some weather. Scotty Scheffler, he's ranked number one. You've got local favorite Rory McIlroy. You got John Rahm out there. And the defending champion, Xander Schauffele, these players are going to be tested because you've got some winds that are going to be moving right off the ocean, low cloud cover, some fog. You've got passing pockets of rain, and some of that could be heavy at times. When you're looking at mid-July and you're looking up there in England, you're like, that's mid-July? Yeah, it's not going to look like a summertime golf event by any stretch. Temperatures, at least they're going to be holding in the mild side, mid to upper 60s. But these are medium ROWIs. Risk of weather impact is going to be there, not just because of the wind, but because of the rain showers that are going to be passing through. So you're watching for the rain off and on. So Thursday, it's a medium ROWI. Temperatures in the upper 60s, falling down to the upper 50s. Friday, it's also a medium ROWI because of the rain could pick up at times, even heavier than that on Thursday. Saturday, cloudy skies, giving away for rain showers in the afternoon. That is a medium ROWI also. And Sunday, you got it. It's a medium ROWI. Temperatures topping out in the upper 60s. If you're lucky, breezy conditions, it's not going to feel like that at all. So keep that ball low, and it looks like things will be all right. At least the greens will hold when it's like that, right? When it's soggy. All right, let's head up to the north. What about the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto? That's a Fox race. It's an IndyCar race. You can catch that one. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time on Fox. So that's going to be fun to watch. We all know this. You're going up to Toronto. It's going to be nice weather out here, 75 degrees. It's a low ROWI to 0. If you introduce any kind of rain on that track, you're hosed, right? So we're not going to see any rain. It's going to be a 0 ROWI, but that's going to be a fun one. It's another street race. It's going to be right there on the shores of Lake Ontario outside of Toronto. Watch for that. That's at noon. Those are always great ones. The road races with Indy guys, man. These things are just steering like nuts. All right, that's your forecast, everybody, for the major games and the match. The British Open, man, that's going to be fun to watch. You got the clouds coming in. You've got the breezy conditions. It's going to make these guys probably look like amateur golfers when you're looking at some of these scores coming in, just because the weather is going to be a major factor, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Bob Van Dillen. You guys have a great weekend.